good evening. Recently, I went to go and see Chainsaw Man the movie Razor Arc. Once with my partner who hasn't read the manga, and another time with my partner and a few of our friends. And, yeah, it was okay. I'm gonna talk about it now. Enjoy. So, I went in with quite high expectations. Chainsaw Man is my favourite manga series, and I love this story arc so much, as a lot of people do. I think Denji, Razor, Aki, and Angel were all great in it, and I was really looking forward to finally being able to talk to my partner about this bit in the story. But first, the most important part of any video essay, the surface level plot summary. The Chainsaw Man movie follows on from season 1 of the anime, following Denji, who can turn into Chainsaw Man. That's terrible. Following Denji, who can turn into chainsaws, as I said in my last video essay, because I keep writing about this damn series. And in this story arc, he falls in love with a girl called Razor. They, are in love for a little bit, and then he refuses to run away with her, so she turns into bombs. And by that I mean, she reveals that she's also a human weapon hybrid, just like Denji, except this time she turns into bombs rather than chainsaws. They fight for a bit, Denji wins and lets Razor go, and at the end, she comes back, realizing that she really did love Denji, but
they reunite and live happily ever after. I love a happy ending.
And with that out of the way, let's actually talk about the things I'm here to talk about. As expected, animation and voice acting were both great. The art style is closer to the manga than that of season 1 of the anime, and to be honest, I don't really have a preference between the two. They both look cool, but the movie style feels a touch less polished and shiny. I think this adds a sense of raw emotion to the story about Denji and Razor's lost love, so it absolutely worked for the movie. As for the actual story of the film, the cinema scene at the beginning with Makima was translated well from the manga, but I didn't feel that shot of Makima crying lived up to this incredible panel. Obviously, these expectations are ridiculously high, unreasonably high, and I didn't want to hold the movie to them, but I wasn't certain I could avoid it. Having said that, the entire rest of the film far exceeded my stupidly high expectations, and it was awesome. It was, by far, the best film I have seen all year, even better than the Terrifier 3, which we saw on Halloween at a secret screening. Actually, I didn't see all of it. We walked out of the cinema halfway through, because it wasn't very good. Anyway, back to Chainsaw Man. Denji and Razor's romance that takes up the first half-ish of the film is just so great. I loved how they transformed even some tiny panels, like Razor sticking her tongue out, into these iconic and cute moments. As for the second half of the film, the fights were basically all extended quite significantly, just like in the anime's first season. I think this made the final fight way more dramatic, especially with the typhoon picking this building up and just taking it along. Watching Denji and Beam fly through it all was really cool too. The fights were just so much fun. But despite how big these changes seem, they definitely carry forward that vague feeling that Fujimoto was going for. Okay, what do I mean by that? How about an example? One change I noticed they made was that we now see Aki's premonitions. He has the power to sort of see a few seconds into the future, but in the manga we basically never see what he sees, we only see his reaction to it. They changed this for the movie, but I think they did it really well. It conveys this sense of panic that something is about to go wrong, while being so brief, literally a split second each time, that on a first viewing, you, the viewer, can't really glean any information from it. I would say that it has the same effect as not being shown them at all in the manga, just more exciting and cinematic to watch. It's a good way to carry forward the spirit of the source material, in my opinion. And that's what you want with an anime adaptation. It should elevate the manga, and any changes or other decisions should be made, I guess, in the spirit of the manga. Unless the source material was, terrible or something. The real star of the show, though, was the music. It was the thing that elevated the source material the most. To start, the festival scene was just really sweet. No dialogue, just this gentle piano melody conveying the idyllic day Denji and Reiza spent together. It culminates in them watching the fireworks, high above the city, as they debate running away from their current lives. Denji gently refuses, and when Reiza then attacks him, at which point I thought,
okay, here we go.
The same piece distorts, its melody becoming less clear and tempo increasing. The name of this piece on the soundtrack is Sweet Danger, effectively capturing this juxtaposition between the characters' perfect romance and their actual identities that lead to their fight. This is great and all, but probably the more memorable piece of music from the film is In the Pool, which has been on every Instagram reel ever in the last few weeks. The film transforms the 4 panels of Denji and Reiza swimming together into a glorious and magical scene, euphoric in their secret moment of escape. The scene opens with another piano melody, playing timidly beneath Reiza, trying to convince Denji to swim with her. As he builds up to jumping into the pool, the music fades into silence. Until the exact moment he lands in the water, the splash of the impact replaced by the same melody, this time grand and overwhelming. It engulfs all other sound, the scene silent except for this beautiful piece as Denji and Reiza watch each other in the water, each as captivated as the other. As absolutely insane as all the fights are, this really is the scene from the Chainsaw Man movie, in my opinion. The film returns to this melody, too, but much later on. Having battled all across the city, Denji and Reiza stand face to face again, in their devil forms this time. As they both make one final move to try to win, Reiza sending more bombs and Denji launching chains at her, the music builds and is generally exciting. I don't know, I'm not a music analyst, but it's another take on the same tune from when Denji and Beam took down the Typhoon Devil like 10 minutes earlier. More importantly, it's cool and thrilling with Denji reeling Reiza in and digging his chainsaws into the ground to keep himself in place. In the end, they both fall into the sea, ending the fight, but as they do, the exciting music stops, and it's replaced by a piece called In the Sea, which quietly repeats the melody of In the Pool. This time, the melody isn't as perfect, as beautiful or magical as before. It's haunted. We flash back to Denji's memories of being in the pool, its only purpose to remind us of perfect days lost forever. They sink to the bottom of the ocean together, while they remember floating in the pool together. This eerie take on the same piece just reminds us that things can never be like those romantic days again. This final beat in the fight, sealing their fate of separation. Through the use of this music, the film is a powerful representation of young love, both its intimacy and its impermanence. The author of Chainsaw Man, Tatsuki Fujimoto, said that he likes the idea of a past romantic partner remaining as a curse in your mind, and that he hopes Reiza exists in this way for his readers. I think this scene in the movie perfectly conveys that sense, that the two of them are cursed to bear the weight of all they had together and of all they lost. And so we, the audience, are cursed too, witnesses to their relationship, created and destroyed and mourned over the course of an hour and a half. The scene in the pool is our curse, set to forever haunt us, as long as we remember their story. Anyway, then Makima jumps her, just as we, the audience, realize that Reiza really did love Denji. Jeez. I remember reading this arc, thinking that it was my least favourite bit of Chainsaw Man so far, right up until this panel, where Reiza thinks to herself, "The truth is, I've never been to school either." Through this shared experience of having to grow up too fast, Reiza realizes that she really did love Denji. And then this story arc immediately became my favourite up until this point. Reiza's own realization that she did care deeply for him recontextualizes the entire story, and frankly, it's been great seeing so many people online experience this for the first time and have their hearts broken too. But Denji, he's never gonna know. He's never gonna know. To end this video on a lighter note, the scene where Aki saves Angel from the typhoon was, as one Instagram commenter put it, even gayer than in the manga. Unless you're a friend of mine, in particular the one who thinks that there were 0 gay undertones. My personal response to this was that he's right, because they were all gay overtones. Aki and Angel are caught in the middle of a typhoon, and Angel is about to be sucked up. No, not sucked off. I can't say that. Angel is about to be lost to the storm, and Aki grabs his shirt. Now, if you don't know, making physical contact with Angel will drain your total lifespan, and in the end, Aki has to make a sacrifice of a little bit of his lifespan in order to save Angel's life, grabbing his hand and pulling him to safety. Unlike the major Denji and Razor moments, this bit isn't set to any music. The only noise other than their dialogue is the overpowering wind. It isn't cool or romantic or beautiful. It's a frightening life or death situation, in which Aki makes a major sacrifice in order to convince Angel that life is worth living. I love them, I really do, and I feel that reading them as a queer couple enhances the narrative, a second, somewhat doomed couple of the movie. Their potential relationship also expresses the film's theme of lost love, especially when you remember that Aki has less than 2 years left to live in this film. My partner also loves these two as a couple, and they drew the two of them and posted it to Instagram, so go have a look. Also, my partner does all the sprites for me, which is really neat. And that's about it for this video. This isn't my usual style of video. I usually do sort of longer, more in-depth ones, but the newer videos are taking a little while, so I might make one of these every now and then if I read an interesting book, or see a cool movie, or play a fun game. Thank you for listening to my thoughts on this masterpiece. I'll catch you again soon for hopefully a longer video next time. Also, public humiliation for the random person that I hate, Ben LaRoche, who recently forgot to put his handbrake on, got out of the car, and had to hold it in place while he called an acquaintance for help. Idiot.